Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Soul Talk with Cash. This is where we take control of our thoughts and tailor them to make lasting positive impacts on our lives. Today's video follows the heartless attacks happening against the women in our society and our children. In Jamaica, stats show that from January to May 2022, the murder rate has increased by 5.8%, and that number was 574 murders. And I know that several men are a part of this number. So not only am I speaking about the women and the children, but crime and violence in our society in general, but also to emphasize that there is a need to focus on those who are more vulnerable in our society. Every moment there's some breaking news, some story about a missing woman, a missing child, and very few of those have a positive ending. Our women and children are being victimized and hurt. When will we be protected? Well, I share the view that every human being has the right to be protected. Every life is important. However, there is still a greater need to protect those who are most vulnerable, those people who cannot protect themselves in our society, really. And as a result, we rely on the government to ensure that legislations are in place to ensure the necessary security measures to meet this need that we have for protection and for security. Many individuals are fearful to face each day. Many women are fearful to leave their homes because they don't know what they're going to come across in that day. They're fearful to walk on the streets. They're fearful to enter relationships sometimes because a lot of relationships are abusive and they're being hurt and they suffer in silence. They're fearful to even take taxis when we send our children out to school. We're fearful about whether or not they'll go missing. And the list goes on and on. Something needs to be done. Having said all of that, there needs to be a great transformation in our society. Often, many vicious crimes that are committed against women and children and the elderly are done by men. Although men are naturally supposed to be the protectors, they are supposed to be the ones who naturally provide the security. There needs to be a way to retrain and to make efforts to have a change. And it must be done sooner than later. I believe that the main contributing factors responsible for this societal issue of crime and violence are: one, the degradation of the family structure, where marriages are on the decline, where the homes are becoming more unstable, which leads to this high level of indiscipline. Number two, our society has moved away from God. At one time, Jamaica was known to be a Christian-based country. But the farther we move away from this reality, the worse our condition has become. The third one is an ineffective justice system. Often, justice is not seen and justice is not felt. Corruption plagues various levels of society, and the criminals are left to control communities, business places, and they're often left, when they're convicted, with access to contrabands in prison. What kind of madness is that? Now, 3 ways that I think that we can have a change in this, and that we can improve our society and improve our culture. And these are: one, there needs to be a reformation in the homes. More than 40% of homes in Jamaica as of 2020 are headed by single parents, and these are often women. Teenage pregnancies are on the rise. Marriages are falling apart, and many individuals are choosing not to get married. Many homes are moving away from God. There's less worship, less Bible study, less praying that is happening in the homes. And when we move back to the structure where you can have stability, when we move back towards God, when we improve our family structure, when we improve relationships, these are things that are going to contribute to healthier family relationships. Every child needs both parents in the home, parents who are dedicated in nurturing and disciplining them, parents who are there to instill proper values, principles, and morals, parents who will instill godly principles to their children. And when these parents stay together and work to improve and nurture their children, the homes will be more secure and the homes will be more stable, and children will have less disruptive behaviors. A secure family structure will teach our children and will foster responsible, positive, loving behaviors in our children. When children grow up in such homes, they learn to love and respect each other. They learn the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so there's this level of respect and love in our society. Parents must also learn problem-solving skills. These skills will enable them to resolve the various conflicts that they have without resorting to violence or separation. The second way that I think we can improve our society is when we have that community approach. There needs to be an enhanced community approach, and this will involve our school system, our churches, and the entire society at various levels. This is where there will be continuous learning and implementation of strategies that will enable reform. Teachers and leaders, church leaders, should be able to discipline our children without being disrespected or threatened by parents. They need to be given that level of authority once they're not abusing our children. We need a society where we will move away from the culture of seeing and being blind and hearing and being deaf. With that culture, no one cares about each other, but we need to move back to the place where we look out for the needs of others and not only ourselves. So when we see or hear of injustice or violence against our people, we need to speak up to the relevant authorities. And there should be no situation of abuse next door that we're seeing and being blind to, or that we're hearing and being deaf to, that is happening around us. We also need to show love to each other. Our society is becoming deadened by this increased crime and violence that is happening around us. And so sometimes something terrible happens to someone, and the first thing is to just take a video recording and that's it, to post it on a social media platform or something like that. But we need to move beyond that stage and to reach out to see what kind of assistance or help that we can get for individuals. And also, we need to send a strong message to offenders to let them know we do not tolerate injustice in any form, and that will be evident in our attitude. The third way is that the government needs to ensure that they have proper legislations and systems in place to secure individuals who give information about what they've seen or what they've heard. We should not have any situation of information being leaked out there in the public about those information that was given to the police or to those in authority. That needs to be a tight system that will protect persons who offer information. Also, the government needs to ensure that there are systems in place to improve the family structure, the school structures. They need to offer seminars and classes on family, on parenting, on discipline, on conflict management, on proper communication, just to name a few. And this information should be incorporated in the school system, in the teaching and learning, from the very low level up to the highest level. This should be a part of what is being taught. Also, there needs to be further social reform programs, and they must ensure that there are sufficient job opportunities for all levels, all social groups. There also needs to be legislations and systems that are effective to enforce and to deal with offenders. These systems will protect those who are most vulnerable, and by extension all category of people. I believe that the penalties for criminals should serve as a deterrent to criminal activities. Where convicts, when they serve time, it should be with hard labor. They shouldn't be saying they want to go to prison because they know that the life there, they're going to eat and drink and live a life that is comfortable enough for them. And when they come out, they're looking to do another criminal activity and to go back into prison. That is not a reformed system. So that system desperately needs to be improved. The system where they're working hard to contribute to the growth and the development of the economy. They must work, and their work should be meaningful, and it should be one that they're exerting a lot of energy and effort to get the work done. They should be responsible for feeding themselves. Maybe they can do farming, they can contribute to the clothing industry, whatever work it is that will contribute to the growth and development. And it should be a deterrent that they will regret finding themselves in prison. And the legislation should ensure that the time fits the crime and the punishment will be equal to the crime that they have committed. Justice should not only be seen, be felt, but it should also be effective. And this justice system is to be reformed. Reformation in all of these three areas that I have mentioned will result in a cultural change and will create an environment that is safer for all. I leave with you this scripture, Deuteronomy 10 verse 18, and this is referring to God. It says, He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow and loves the alien, giving him food and clothing. So we have to look out for each other. We have to look out for those who are vulnerable, and we have to be caring to all people and to show that we love by loving each other and treating each other the way how we would want to be treated. That's it for today's video. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and turn on your notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be the first to know. Until next time, I will see you in the next one.